We're going to get back to now the Highland Park parade shooting suspect who confessed and contemplated a second
Police
attack.
say the man accused of killing 7 people at the 4th of July parade thought about carrying out a second attack. Monday's shooting in Highland Park, Illinois, north of Chicago, also injured more than 30 people. Authorities claim the suspect confessed after his arrest. Robert Criminal III made a virtual court appearance yesterday.
He said Robert Criminal III.
Ordered held without bail, charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. CBS News has obtained this photo of the gun that police say was found in the alleged gunman's car. It was just one of five that was legally obtained despite a series of incidents 3 years ago that led police to call him a clear and present danger. Adriana Diaz is in Highland Park with more on the attack and the victims. Adriana, good morning.
Good morning. Investigators say the suspect allegedly planned this shooting for weeks. More charges are expected to be filed, including for attempted murder. Federal charges could also be filed. But we're also learning more about the gut-wrenching decisions parents had to make to protect their children.
It was almost as though a light switch flipped and everyone just started running for cover.
Dana and Gregory Ring grabbed their 3 children and ran for their lives. Gunfire erupted at the Highland Park 4th of July parade.
The energy just really changed.
His dad didn't purchase the guns. His dad signed off on a FOID. In the state of Illinois, you need a operation license, and he signed off on it so we could get the guns.
Quickly from smiles to just screaming, and then again, pop, 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 pop.
In the chaos, the Rings say they found themselves caring for a toddler.
He was saying, "Mommy, Daddy," so I went back up to look for his mom and dad, and then I saw the scene. Carnage.
The little boy turned out to be a 2-year-old whose parents, Irina and Kevin McCarthy, were among the 7 people killed in the shooting.
So fucked up.
Witnesses say the boy's father died shielding him. According to investigators, the gunman picked July 4th because he had an affinity for the numbers 4 and 7, but they wouldn't get into his possible motive. Despite previous encounters with police, he was able to legally purchase 5 firearms, including this one authorities say was found in his car. Investigators say after the gunman unleashed at least 83 bullets on the parade, he had roughly 60 rounds left and seriously contemplated carrying out a second attack at a celebration in Madison, Wisconsin.
Indications are that he hadn't put enough thought and research into it.
The suspect was later apprehended after returning to Illinois.
He admitted to what he had done.
Children should not be running for 4th of July parades in the Midwest or anywhere.
The Rings are frustrated and furious this was able to happen in the first place.
The only issue that every single community in America has in common is gun violence.
We just know something different has to happen, and it has to happen now.
A detective later arrived at the Rings home to pick up that little 2-year-old boy. They had to put a car seat into the squad car. The boy was later reunited with his grandparents. As for the suspect, he next appears in court July 28th. Dana?
Adriana, people across the country thinking of that little boy, there is no doubt, and thankful that the Rings were there.
Illinois State Police was aware of the fact that they had taken his guns away, or not guns, his knives away. When he tried to kill his family, he threatened to kill his family. Now, while his family didn't actually press charges, that was in their system. Like, they should fucking keep account of that shit. So anyone who is not talking about the state's responsibility and the police responsibility in this circumstance, I'm going to ban every single one of you dumb fucks. Stop doing that. Stop. Is Reddit down? I can't see the Joe Rogan video.
Report on the school massacre in Uvalde, Texas confirms police could have stopped it before 19 children and 2 teachers were killed. An active shooter training center run by Texas State University points to multiple occasions when officers had a chance to target the gunman at Robb Elementary School. Janet Shamlian has reaction to the new report.
Stunning new information details missed opportunities Uvalde police had in preventing the Robb Elementary massacre. An officer armed with a rifle had the gunman in sight as the shooter approached the school building, but didn't fire. Instead, the report indicates the officer asked his supervisor for permission to shoot the suspect. The supervisor either did not hear or responded too late.
The use of force decisions always rest with the officer who's going to use the force. There was no requirement for that officer to ask for.
They're straight up fucking doing this to be like, they're doing this to turn this negative situation on cops back around to be like, well, our use of force protocols are just like too bad. They're too restrictive. No shot. Have you ever met a fucking cop who didn't mag dump on a moment's notice? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? No shot. No shot. They're trying to fucking take this incredibly negative situation, this incredibly negative PR, back around to be like, well, our use of force compliance is the reason why we couldn't do it. That's bullshit, man. We just talked about Jalen Walker yesterday. That's fucking bullshit. That's a lie. Do not let them fucking get away with this shit. Come on, brother. Cops have never taken the time out and asked themselves, like, should I pull the trigger here? That's not a thing that happens. That's never happened.
For permission to shoot.
The report highlights another missed chance. The first officer arriving on the scene might have seen the gunman to prevent him from entering the building if he hadn't been driving so fast, or instead approached on foot. And the report concludes what many have believed, that based on current evidence, it is possible that some of the people who died could have been saved if they had received more rapid.
Run it back. You misunderstood the guy. No, I'm not talking about the dude's commentary. I'm talking about like the report that they put out there. The report is just bullshit.
The supervisor either did not hear or responded too late.
The guy is going to say that that's not a part of use of force because it's an active school shooting. Active school shootings have an entirely separate fucking rules of engagement protocol. In an active school shooting, it's all hands on deck. You shoot first, ask questions later, which is like most fucking beat cops and most of the shootings that happen with police. But it's especially shoot first, ask questions later. That is literally your main priority. Doesn't matter if you don't have fucking tactical gear. Doesn't matter if you don't have a riot shield. Doesn't matter if you don't have an AR-15 and the shooter does. The point is, the rules of engagement dictate very clearly you rush the shooter. That's it. Because the expectation from the civilians is a similar thing. Because that's the only way to stop it. So you mean to tell me that this is the one instance where they have trigger discipline? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. These guys are mag dumping on people, running away from them and shit all the time. You're telling me that there was a legitimate moment where he was like, oh, should I shoot this school shooter? Oh, I don't know. Get the fuck out of here.
The use of force decisions always rest with the officer who's going to use the force. There was no requirement for that officer to ask.
Yeah, there isn't. The rules of engagement in that circumstance are already open. It's open field. You can unload as much as you want. So I don't believe that. And I do think that the report, while it is critical of the cops, is still running defense for policing as a whole, as an institution. To turn this negative press cycle around and be like, oh, we just have like not enough, dude. We just don't have enough, or it's too restrictive.
For permission to shoot.
The report highlights another missed chance. The first officer arriving on the scene might have seen the gunman to prevent him from entering the building if he hadn't been driving so fast, or instead approached on foot. And the report concludes what many have believed, that based on current evidence, it is possible that some of the people who died could have been saved if they had received more rapid medical care.
We believe there should have been an entry at that as soon as you can.
The new information follows last week's emotional city council meeting.
This was not supposed to happen. You failed because you're not taking care of the city. They are 19 children dead, massacred.
A Texas legislative committee is also investigating and is expected to release its report soon. For CBS Mornings, Janet Shamlian, Houston.
Waiting for Hasan.